ಬಂತು ನೋಡಿ.
Yeah, very good morning to one and all. So before starting the webinar, so I'd like to give you instruction. So all the participants are requested to mute your audio and video to avoid disturbances during the session. If the participants are having questions to ask to the resource person, then you can type the message in the chat box. Only after the session, it is going to be discussed in the Q&A session. E-certificates will be given to all the participants. Feedback link will be sent to the group once the session is closed. Fill feedback link because certificates will be generated on the basis of data submitted on the feedback link. Thank you.
I will try. Apa mami bawal ko lang?
Yeah. So once again, I'm going to repeat the instructions. All the participants are requested to mute your audio and video to avoid disturbances during the session. If the participants are having the question asked to the resource person, please you can type in the chat box. Only after the session, it is going to be discussed in the Q&A session. E-certificates will be given to all the participants. Feedback link will be sent to the group once the session is closed. You must fill feedback link because certificate will be generated on the basis of the data submitted on the feedback link. Thank you. Very good morning to one and all. I, Professor Smita Nadiger, feel privileged to welcome today's guest and the chairman of IMS B School, Dr. CA Dr. N.A. Charantimat sir. We have with us today's speaker, Dr. Gurrajes Hadagli sir, and director of IMS B School, and today's speaker, Dr. Srinivas R. Patil sir. And all the participants, faculty colleagues, and all my dear students, on behalf of IMS B School, I welcome you all to the one-day webinar on e-learning, new way of learning. Let's start this day by remembering our God and a prayer. I would like to call Ms. Swati Kulkarni for invocation song.
Jayatu Gajanana Mushakavahana Maduve Vandaneya Prabhuve Beduve Sanmatiya Bhaktiya Kusumada Malaya Henidu Arpisuve Ninnadeyali Manedu Mannisi Binnaha Swikarisaiya Mannisi Binnaha Swikarisaiya Pore Karuna Rudaya Prabhuve Maduve Vandaneya Jayatu Gajanana Mushakavahana ಮಾಡುವೆ ವಂದನೆಯ ಪ್ರಭುವೇ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಸನ್ನತಿಯ ಪ್ರಭುವೇ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಸನ್ಮತಿಯ.
Thank you, Swati, for your wonderful song. Now, I would like to call Director of IMS B School, Dr. Srinivas R. Patil, sir, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Smita. A very good morning to all of you. We are extremely happy to host this national webinar on e-library. I thank all of you for your superb response. We have received a registration from across India, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Feeling happy to say that we have registration from around 21 states for this webinar. To brief about our IMS, IMS B School is one of the top rated B School in India. It has organized 3 such webinars in the last 3 months on various themes. The institute is A-ranked institute and also rated as the best B School in South India, as per survey conducted by Dalal Street, ABP News, and many such agencies. Being in industrial area, students are given extremely good opportunities to get practical knowledge. This is the 14th year of its service in imparting quality management education, led by our Honorable Chairman, Chartered Accountant, Dr. N.A. Charantimach. With this brief information, I take this opportunity to welcome our today's chief guest, a very well-known Chartered Accountant in India, visionary and an educationist, CA, Dr. N.A. Charantimach, on behalf of all the participants. Sir, we are pleased to have your online presence today. I'm equally happy to welcome Dr. Gururaj Hadagli, Assistant Professor in Karnataka University, Harvard. He is also the resource person for this today's webinar. A panelist, I welcome you, sir. I extend heartfelt welcome to all the participants. I also welcome Mr. Fakiresh, coordinator, and our librarian, and all our teaching and non-teaching staff to this webinar. Thank you all. Today, world is moving towards digitalization. Accordingly, in education institutes also, most of the education institutes are moving towards digitalization, and most of the institutes are taking classes in the online only. Hence, it's an effort from our end to focus on e-library and its importance. I'm sure participants will get definitely the more inputs from this webinar. I wish all the best to all the participants. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now, we'll move to the first session of today's webinar on e-library. Before that, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Gururaj S. Hadagli, sir. So Dr. Gururaj S. Hadagli, sir, completed his Master of Library and Information Science from the Department of Library and Information Science, Karnataka University, Dharwad, in the year 2003. He has qualified UGC NET and JRF examination during 2003 and elevated to Senior Research Fellow in the year 2005. He obtained his PG DLAN from Central University, Hyderabad in the year 2005. He obtained his PhD in the year 2008. He was appointed as assistant professor in the Department of Library and Information Science, Karnataka University, Dharwad in the year 2008 and continued to serve in the same department. He has published 72 papers in national and international journals and presented 56 papers in various conferences, seminars, proceedings. He has published 2 books and co-edited 7 books. Presently, he is a managing editor of Journal of Indian Library Association, Delhi. He has received the Best Oral Presenter at the International Research Conference held on Feb 2019 at Vellasa University, Badulla, Sri Lanka. He was also honored with Dr. C.D. Sharma Award for the Best Written and Presented Paper during 50th ILA conference in the year 2004 held at Vadodara. He was an executive committee member of Indian Association of Teachers, Library and Information Science from the term 2011, 2013 and 2013 to 2015. With this brief introduction, I would like to request Dr. S. Gururaj Hadagli, sir, to continue the session.
Thank you, Smita madam, for your nice words. Honorable Chairman of the Center, IMS, Dr. Charantimach sir, the Director of the IMS, Dr. Srinivas Patil, Library and Webinar Coordinator, Mr. Fakiresh Kamli, and my dear fellow participants. E-library in the 21st century is the topic given for me to talk to you about. I think the participants are from various backgrounds. Some of them are from professional library science professionals, and some of them are students, and some of them are faculty members or from various faculties. Just a minute, let me share. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Continue.
And can you see the slide?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes. So I'm going to talk to you on e-library in the 21st century. So the agenda of my presentation will be dimensions of the information storage media. That is how the storage media right from the Stone Age to web media has come out. Then transformation of libraries from traditional to hybrid nature. The historical development of how the concept of library has come, and now what we are using is a hybrid nature. Then difference between hybrid, electronic and virtual library. What exactly the electronic library means. Most of the time it's a misconception from most of the people that the differences between there are electronic library, automation library, digital library, virtual library, and hybrid libraries are one and the same. Let me highlight you that there are differences between digital library, automated library, electronic library, and virtual library. So I'm going to tell you about all these aspects in my presentation, including definitions of electronic library, benefits of electronic library, challenges and disadvantages of the electronic library. Now, this particular figure will give you an idea about the dimensions of the information storage media in the innovative world. Now, let me take you to the old age, where books were kept under the lock and key system centuries ago, and only privileged people have had access to all these resources. Slowly, closed access was replaced by open access. Now you go to any college or any university where you can choose your own interested books and other reading materials. So that is open for the users. Now, storage media from Stone Age to web media, that's what I'm just going to highlight you. Then designations and roles of allied professionals are changing. Like now earlier it was a caretaker of books, but nowadays the roles of the librarians have been changed. So it should be either a director, a librarian, caretaker, information officer, technical officer, analyst, indexer, abstractor, information analyst, data provider, knowledge provider. So there are so many designations and the roles of librarians. But only thing is, most of the people are not aware of the importance of libraries in Indian context. So selective elimination is important aspect nowadays rather than selective dissemination of information. So because of the information explosion, nowadays there is no dearth of information available, but too much information that is bothering us. So selective elimination has become an important aspect as far as the getting information is concerned or accessing information is concerned. because there is no control over internet. Any Tom, Dick, Harry can publish his or her own information on the website, and nobody owns the internet. So that is what there is an information explosion. Then the role of the library has also been changed. Earlier we used to go, now also we are going, but the users or the faculty members or students used to go to the library. But nowadays what is happening is libraries are going to the doorsteps of the users, and electronic libraries one such example, and social media for that matter. Wherever you are sitting, you can access the OPAC of your own institution. You can get the services from your library. So sitting wherever you are, there is no geographical boundary for that. So libraries are going to the doorsteps of the users. Then nomenclatures of the libraries are also being changed. It is not mere only library, but it has become an information analysis center, information center, virtual library, electronic library, automated library, hybrid library. Now one step ahead, we are using it as an idea center. Now you cannot ask your students to keep quiet in the library. So this has become an idea center where students are discussing. So ideas are being generated. So that is what it is also called as idea center. Learning resource center. You believe it or not, one of the surveys conducted in 2000 by some Reddy from USA, that there are more than 1,000 nomenclatures are used for libraries. Now, looking into this figure, dimensions of the information storage media in the innovative world. Now people started writing using stones. So let me use this particular slide so that you can get an idea about. So right from Stone Age, in the sense, people started using, or people started writing something on the on caves using some clay tablets. So the first figure that gives you a clay tablet. So people started using these materials to write it down. And slowly and steadily, they started using parchment material, papyrus, and paper invented during the 14th, 15th century. Now people started using paper media. Then they started using, I think, punched card. Then film media. The second one is film media. So we also used, I think those who are of age more than 30, they might have used films, magnetic tapes. Then magnetic tapes, magnetic media has come. So we used VCR, VCDs. The fourth one is electronic media. The same information was made available in electronic media, that is optical media, digital optical media, that is in a digital format. The later while it was shifted to a web media, that is e-journals, e-books. That's whatever you are getting through internet, that is all web media. And nobody knows what next. So technology is becoming absolute for every now and then. That whatever the technology we are using for some work will not be there for another 6 months. So technology are also becoming absolute nowadays. Now, this slide will give you a clear-cut picture about how the nomenclature, that is the transformation of libraries from traditional to hybrid nature. If you think that electronic library, digital library, virtual library, and automated libraries are one and the same, so you are wrong. I will give you, yes, there is a difference between electronic library, digital library, virtual library, and hybrid library. Let me deal with one by one. First of all, if you don't understand this, it goes very difficult for you to understand the electronic library concept. What is traditional library? You know, that is print materials. The library which has print materials, only print materials, not any other materials for that matter. The library which has only print materials is called as a traditional library. Now the second one is the automated library. You know, that is mechanization of libraries materials, mechanization of library activities is done in automated library. Whatever we carry out in traditional library, same thing is carried out using automation or computers. Now, before we understand what is electronic library, let me tell you first what is a digital library and virtual library, and then I will come to you later the electronic library. Try to understand the concept that electronic library is different and digital library is different and virtual libraries are different. When you say electronic information, there are two things. One is offline electronic information, and the second one is online e-information. Offline e-information and online e-information. Now the digital library which contains offline e-resources. The digital library which contains offline e-resources. Offline e-resource in the sense, the information or the content which is in CD-ROM database. The content or the information which is there in CD-ROM database is called as a digital library. So in a digital library where only digital collection is there, that is in terms of CD-ROMs or DVDs, whatever it is. Now, another thing is, this is what offline e-resource. One more is online e-resource, offline and online e-resource. So in a electronic library which has electronic information in terms of e-books, e-journals, e-databases, e-theses and dissertations, and e-newspapers, e-reports, etc. Now coming to electronic library and virtual library. Again, there is a difference between electronic library and virtual library. Electronic library can be called as a digital library, but not vice versa. Please remember this. Digital library is a part of electronic library. So electronic library can be called as a digital library, or digital library is a part and parcel of an electronic library. I think very handful libraries in the world are pure digital one. Most of the time it's a misconception, and you might have heard about this and appeared in the newspaper that X university library is a digital one. It is not the total university library which is a digital, but it is a part of but it is a part of the main library. So digital library is a part of the main library. Then what is the difference between electronic library and virtual library? Virtual library and electronic looks very similar. But virtual library in the sense without four walls. Without four walls. If you have a computer, laptop, or palm top, or mobile, or any other electronic gadget where you can access information, is what virtual, it creates a virtual environment. So without four walls. Now, but electronic library using the same gadgets but within the four walls. An electronic library may be on a website. maybe an university website, or maybe a library's website. Virtual library in the sense, whatever we do in electronic library, but also we are doing it in virtual library. Then I will come to you later while differentiating between virtual, electronic and digital library. Virtual library in the sense without four walls. Wherever you, there is no geographical boundary, no buildings are required. Wherever you sit and access the information, that's all virtual. But electronic library within four walls. So look at the difference between virtual library and electronic library. But it depends on the context. So in some context we use virtual library, in some context we use the digital library, and in some context it is electronic library. There is a hairline difference between all these terms, whatever we are using. Now comes a hybrid library. Now whatever we are using nowadays, whether it's a school library or a college library or a university library or institutional library or industries, it's all hybrid library where we have a print materials, non-print materials, microfilms, microfiches, films, etc. Whatever we have nowadays, it's all a hybrid library. Then idea centers, now ideas are being generated in the library. Earlier we used to use signboards, don't talk, and then silence please, etc. Signboards are being used to in the library. But nowadays libraries are being regarded as an idea center where ideas are being generated either from the student side or from the faculty side. And what next? Nobody knows what will come in future. Now the data center concept has come. I think you might be knowing about the cloud computing. So cloud computing is nothing but the data centers where it's all even it is virtual in the sense, only thing is we are maintaining the data. Even we are not using any drives here. So cloud computing we are using. Nobody knows what will come in future. Now differences between hybrid, electronic and virtual library. As a digital library, as I already told you, it's a library in which collections are stored in a digital format as opposed to print, microform or other media and accessible by computers. Need not be online. So you need not be an online, but you can have access to digital libraries. Only thing is you need to have drives, CD drives. But nowadays even the computers are coming without CD drives. Now the electronic library, it's a library includes electronic contents and services. Electronic in the sense any information which is available in e-format. Digital materials also those sources that are stored, processed and transferred via digital or current electronic medium. Digital services are services such as e-reference that are delivered digitally over computer networks. Now as far as virtual libraries are concerned, virtual libraries are those libraries which are not in real life. It may be a collection of links. It may be a collection of data which are available on a networks and accessible via network. The library does not exist in real life. It is just like the companies or the companies which are existed in paper but not really existed. So one of the examples of a virtual library is that Networked Computer Science Technical Reports Library, so which is pronounced as ancestral. So until recently, the most common method for sharing or transferring files between the users was the file transfer protocol. Several new protocols appeared, that is Waze, Gopher and HTTP. But nowadays it is ancestral that we are using. So as far as the electronic library, what is electronic library, which I have already given to you? E-library provides collaborative search of all type of e-resources. There's online resources such as e-journals, e-books, e-databases, e-newspapers, e-reports, e-dictionaries, e-encyclopedia or electronic databases, e-thesis and dissertation projects purchased or open access. See, some of the e-resources available are open access, that is a free of cost, and some of them are commercial or paid purchased. Then e-library is a special library with a focused collection of digital objects that can include text, visual material, audio material, video material stored as electronic media formats, along with the means of organizing, storing, and retrieving the files and media contained in the collection. But these libraries can vary immensely in size. See, electronic libraries are varying from size to size. Depends on the collection. If you have a digital collection, that size varies. If you have online information sources, of course, there is no space required for that. So any individual, so electronic library can be maintained by any individual. So even I have also an electronic library. So another week, just wait for another week, I'm going to launch my own website where I have given to you the number of open access resources for the help for the benefit of the students, research scholars, and faculty members. I have listed out. I have literally gone through and compiled a list of open educational resources. Then open access resources, open access search engines, then thesis and dissertations, journals for that matter, databases for that matter. Even I can also maintain my own electronic library. If I have two books, one book's also in my library, that is called as electronic library. I'll just give you some of the examples of electronic library so that you can get an idea about it. Electronic library can also be maintained by the organizations or affiliated with established physical library building or institution or with academic institutions. It's an electronic or online library where one can have access to books, journals, novels, articles, or any other information over internet. So it's a library in which collections are stored in electronic formats, as I have already told you. So collection will be on magnetic tapes, microfilms, CDs, DVDs, microfilm, or other media, and accessible by any medium such as computer, laptops, iPads, CD-ROMs, or DVD players. The electronic information or material may be stored in an offline server or online, which may be accessed remotely via computer networks. An electronic library, the term electronic library was first coined in 1988 in the report of the Corporation for National Research. I'll just give you a simple definition of electronic library. A website that makes books and other reading materials available to users in e-form. That's a very simple definition given by Cambridge Dictionary. Whatever that is available in e-form, that's all you can have it in your electronic library, or the electronic library where information is available in e-form, whether it's a book, whether it's a journal, a novel, or any other reading material for that matter. An electronic library allows users to read or refer any published item from their residence or office, college via internet. Wherever you are sitting, you can have access to any kind of information. There is no geographical boundary for that. And users have no need to visit library directly for their reference. That's what I told you. Nowadays, libraries are going to the doorstep of the users. Now, in order to access any kind of a piece of information from the library, we used to go to library. But sitting at your chamber, sitting at your classrooms, sitting wherever you are, even with the help of remote login facility, you can have access to the library resources sitting at your home. So that's a kind of the beauty of electronic library. Now, what are the features of electronic libraries? The first and foremost thing is there is no physical boundary for that. No physical boundary. So wherever you are sitting, no geographical boundary for that. The second one is round the clock availability. So 24/7. Any type of digital libraries can have access to this. So you can have, even at the midnight also, you can get the same information. Then multiple access. The same information can be accessed by many others. And with the help of LAN, the same information can be accessed at a time. Now the fourth one is the preservation and conservation. Preservation and conservation of, though it's a bit difficult, but one can easily preserve and conserve. So it is a bit difficult to conserve the CD-ROM databases. We have to use the same temperature and many others. And conservation as per as the electronic information which is available on website is concerned, no need to worry about. Now the space, very less space is required for the electronic library. Just one PC, one table, that's enough, which can reduce the very nature of, see, one CD-ROM can, in one CD-ROM, we can have 32 volumes of Encyclopedia Britannica. So we can save or we can reduce such a space. Then easily accessible. Any electronic gadget you take for that matter, and you can have access to whatever the materials that are available on your institutions or library website. Then support multimedia components. Unlike in print version, we can, as and when it is required, we can make use of the multimedia components or multimedia effects for that. Then provide links to different digital objects. That is a hyperlinking facility where you can jump or move from one website to another website by just clicking a mouse with the help of mouse. That is what some of the features of electronic library. Then as far as the benefits of electronic library, of course, e-libraries are the best tool for providing online resources for research, which will make easy to its users. It's very easy to get access to e-resources rather than physically going to the library. It is very easy to access e-resources. Nowadays, we have plenty of options as far as accessing and getting information from electronic gadgets are concerned. Everybody owns smartphones nowadays. Everybody owns laptops, iPads, or palm tops, etc. So it's very easy to access the information. Then retrospective search is easy and most convenient than print research. The other day I had been to LIC office just to get my bond paper back. So he took nearly 2 hours to search that particular bond paper. But when it comes to e-resource or electronic library, retrospective search can be made very easily. If you don't know if you know the file name or the folder name or the resource, exactly the Boolean operators, if you know the search strategy, it becomes very easy for you to search the retrospective information. Now searching of index is also easy. Now index searching has become very easy for the tech-savvy users as far as getting information from the electronic libraries are concerned. Index means it is just what are and where are the components available in that particular source. When it comes to encyclopedia, sir? Hello? When it comes to contents, then index as far as the encyclopedia of any encyclopedia.
So you can continue, sir.
I think somebody has unmuted their mic.
Yes, and now I have muted them.
Yes, yes. Yeah, index. Well, see, searching of index is very easy as far as the electronic libraries are concerned. Now, index in the sense, what are the subjects and where are the subjects available in that particular source? Then it supports for searching with the combination of keywords. Now, when it comes to physical resource, you have to turn the physical resource page by page. You can turn the page wise, page by page. But here in electronic library, using combination of keyword, for example, and Boolean operators also you can use. Boolean operators you can use. You can use the search strategies. You can use the asterisk mark. You can use combination of keywords. For example, phrase wise also you can use. Suppose if you want to know women empowerment in India and USA, so a comparative study, you can use a phrase wise. You can use Boolean operators, a, and, or, and not. So you can use all these types of combination of keywords. Then provision for simultaneous access to multiple files, as I already told you. So multiple files can be accessed with the help of electronic library. Then provision for printouts. See, provision of printouts, whenever you want a printouts of that, format it, and then you can take printouts of that. And no need to visit the same source again and again. You can, once you save it, and you can have access to that. And offline mode also you can have access to all these once you save that, so save those documents. Then for future references you can save, you can take a printouts, do whatever you want. And the distance learners are also searching their requirement from e-library. Now when you go to physically to the library, only one source at a time can be accessed. But as far as the distant learners are concerned, even millions of persons can have access to the same resources at a time. That's a distance doesn't matter here. Then e-library provides the benefit of or benefit to integrated search to dictionaries, encyclopedia, etc. to the reference desk. The simplest functionality like point and click promotes the user interest. Point and click in the sense it is just take the cursor, it changes its shape, and click on that, and your required document will open. That is a point and click which promotes the user's interest. Now coming to the challenges and disadvantages. So the computer viruses, disasters, lack of standardization for digitized information, quick regrading properties of digitized material, different display standard of digital product and its associated problem, health hazard nature of the radiation from monitor, etc., makes electronic libraries at times a bit handicapped. But looking into, of course, one should have or one should become a tech-savvy user. This is the age where everything will be dealt with the help of computer as well as electronic gadgets. So we need to orient ourselves, we need to literate ourselves as far as using of these electronic gadgets and accessing these information resources are concerned. Now the first and foremost challenge or the disadvantage of any electronic library is its copyright. So digitization opposes the copyright law, as the content or resources of one author can be simply transferable by others without his or her knowledge. The main challenge is that how the libraries broadcast information along with the protecting the intellectual properties of an author. Suppose you have to get Whenever assume that I have submitted my thesis or project to my institution, without his or her knowledge, you cannot take the things granted and you cannot use as and when it is required. So there is a copyright, that is the infringement that you have to face. So there are very strict rules regulating, regarding the violations of copyright laws. But in digital era, it is very difficult to save the intellectual property rights of an author or publisher. If it is used for academic purpose, there is no infringement. If it is used for commercial purpose, I think the incident happened in University of Delhi, that one Xerox photocopy center. That was a debate that went on, and it was in Supreme Court. So that's what you have to be careful about the copyright. So you cannot copy and paste simply. Otherwise, it will be detected as a plagiarism or similarity index. Then you have to properly cite in that matter. So you have to get the permission from the students as well as the faculty members as far as the projects. Suppose if you want to digitize the projects submitted to your own institutions, in future use, you have to cite it properly, or you should not take the printouts. So there are so many copyright violations regarding, and you have to be very careful as far as access to e-resources is concerned. Suppose whenever you are accessing any information with the help of your electronic library, try to give date of access. When you are accessing any website, try to give date of access, because tomorrow that particular website may not be existed, that is vanished. So that is what copyright is most challenging task as far as accessing and getting information is concerned. Then speed of access. As more and more computers are connected, then the loads on the server makes websites very low, because nobody is going to the library, and everybody is rushing towards. I'll just give you an example. During the submission of applications to the civil services examination or university examinations, and as railway bookings are concerned, you have to wait for hours together. So server will not respond to you, because everybody at the same time, everybody will rush into the websites and try to submit their applications. That's what speed of access. If the technology will not evolve to solve the problem, then in near future, internet will be of error messages. Then initial cost is high. So the initial cost of modern libraries, such as the cost of the software, hardware, and communication networks and other equipments are very high. So it is very expensive. I told you earlier only, digital library is also a part of electronic library. So that is what we have to be very careful as far as initial cost of setting up of digital libraries are concerned. Now the fourth aspect is bandwidth. So the libraries will need high transfer rates for transfer of multiple media resources, but the bandwidth is decreasing day by day due to its overutilization and overload on the internet. The slow bandwidth leads to slow download and uploading of digital material, which means users have to give more time in searching and downloading their contents. Then the fifth one is the efficiency. With the information explosion, there is a tons of information on particular topics. So it is very difficult to find the right information on the particular topic. You believe it or not, since I'm involved in these metric studies in library science, every 2 years information is doubling. Can you imagine the rate of doubling the rate of doubling reduces every now and then. Earlier it was 15 years, now it has come to 2 years. whatever information available nowadays in different formats, the same size of information doubles within 2 years, and after 2 years it will become 1.7, like that. It reduces very speed information explosion that we could see. It's very difficult to find the right information on particular topic. Earlier we were bothered about the information, the access to information. Thanks to the Gutenberg, so who came out with a printing machine, and then information was made accessible to all. So the authentication of the information is not sure as far as efficiency of information is concerned. Since authenticity plays an important role as far as whatever that is available on internet is authentic, or we can rely on such information, but only handful of the websites and universities give information. I'll just give you an example. Suppose if you want to know the courses offered by Savitribai Phule Pune University. Suppose if you want to know the courses offered by the Savitribai Phule Pune University, you need to go to that, but you need to visit that website. But there are commercial websites that take or they copy the same information from your website and they claim that that is their information. So that efficiency is another challenge faced by the electronic libraries. So environment. So modern libraries cannot produce the environment of traditional libraries, and many users also find that reading printed much easier than reading information on a computer screen. Now every system or every library has their own advantages as well as the disadvantages. Now, as far as the traditional libraries are concerned, we have advantages as well as disadvantages. When it comes to other types of libraries, be it automated library or virtual libraries or electronic library or digital library, for every type of library, we have advantages and disadvantages. But it is up to the user who has to decide whether to search or whether to go to a traditional library or to get the things done with the help of electronic library. It is the user who has to decide. Television has its own advantages and disadvantages. It is how we make use of that television. The same nuclear bomb can be used for disaster purpose, can be used for in the sense for energy creation purpose. So every system or every material, every library has their own advantages and disadvantages. The last one is preservation. So due to the rapid change in the technology, libraries become outdated. Libraries become outdated and its information may become inaccessible. In future, many new formats evolve. So it is difficult to preserve the library material at a standard format so that in future we may use it. The preservation is concerned. Library is the first place to implement any technology which comes into market. Whatever the technology that comes in the market, so library is the first place to implement that. And if you don't implement, students will not accept it, because day by day the students are becoming tech savvy users. And to our surprise, library is the first place to cut the budget. Now 1964-66 R.C. Kothari Commission recommends that, I'll just give you one simple example as far as the university setup is concerned, that 6.75% of the total university budget should be allocated to the libraries. The total 6.75% of the total university budget should be allocated to the libraries. Forget about the 6.75. Now the universities are giving 1.2% of the total university budget. You believe it or not, whenever there is a financial crunch or faced by the university, library is the first place to cut the budget. At one side, we have so many expectations from the library, and at the another side, there is a budget head as well as, and you believe it or not, most of the university or institutions, an in-charge library you will see. No full-time librarians for that. So it is very difficult for the professionals to preserve the materials. Now, I will just give you some of the examples of electronic library where you will see the abundant information. That's the first one is openlibrary.org. One of the best resources as far as getting electronic books are concerned. Just visit this. I'll just drop this PowerPoint presentation to the webinar coordinator, so you can make use of such resources. Then after 1 week or 10 days of time, I will launch my own website, where you will see that my website will give you one-stop solution for all the resources, research resources, as far as the budding researchers are concerned, as well as the faculty members are concerned. Because what happens, the mediocre, or you can say the institutions, it is very difficult for them to afford for the commercial databases or commercial resources. One need to pay lakhs together money as far as getting access to such resources are concerned. So openlibrary.org is one such resource where you can have access to any kind of books, whether it's art, whether it's a fantasy, biography, science, recipes, romance, etc. Now the second one is the digital library, global digital library, where you can see. I'll just give you an example. There are two kinds of electronic library. Electronic libraries maintained by the institutions or organizations, and electronic libraries maintained by an individuals. They're just, if you need to have a login and password, so whenever you want to read a book or a novel, just log in and password, and that will be downloaded. So global digital library is one such electronic library where you can have access to most of the resources. One thing you have to remember, the size, as I already told you, the size depends on the library. Size vary from library to library. Suppose if one library has 500 novels, the second library may have millions together novels. Not only it is novel, but related to subject books also we have, which are available free of cost. Now I think Digital Library of India, this is one of the finest or best electronic libraries that India has ever produced. It's under Ministry of Human Resource Development. So you will study at home, then school related, CBSE examination preparatory, engineering related, science related, humanities. Once you have to visit this, see every discipline it has been covered. So you can browse, you can search the old data, and those who are on co-ed research, you can have access to scholarly publications. Data sets are available free of cost. Documents and videos are available free of cost. Journals and conferences are available free of cost. That is conference proceedings. Then challenges, startup and ideas funding. So everything. And as far as the study at home is concerned, you can have those who belongs to commerce or MBA or some commerce line. So you can law and management related aspects. Just click there, and then you will get the videos, free videos available, free books available. You can make use of such resources. Then this is elibrary.net, where science and art find an ebook that interest you and read reviews by past readers. We have over 500 free ebooks on different category. They have made some different category, and then you can go through these e-libraries. Then GTU e-library, that is Gujarat Technological. There are number of, and one more name of the library I will just give you. IIT Gujarat. Just visit the library website of IIT Gujarat and click on open sources available. You will see abundant information given and which is compiled by the library professionals, and you can rely on the sources given in that particular website. Got that idea? So Gujarat Technological University, just click on other resources or free ebooks where you will get and even GTU repository, that's free of cost. So click on other e-resources and free ebooks where you will get a number of free ebooks on different subjects. Another one is Crabtree, that is publishing company. Again, to help kids keep reading during the COVID-19 self-isolation, and to have access to complete e-library for free until August 31st, 2020. So for this presentation purpose, I have just went through some of the search engines, and I have just given to you some of the electronic library which are available or which offer or which gives you access to free e-resources. Just visit this Crabtree Digital, then you can access the complete e-library of Crabtree Digital until August 31st, 2020. So with this, I stop. So suppose if you have any questions related to research in or e-library in research, you can ask me.
Open for question and answer. Now, I would like to request Professor Suvarna Hirema to handle this session.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to Dr. Gura Hadaglu, sir. I would like to
a little bit louder, madam.
Hello. Yes, sir. Very good morning to the participants and Dr. Guraj Hadaglu, sir. There are few questions raised by our participants, sir. I would like to read few of them. The first question is raised by Dr. Purushottam. Sir wants to know what is the impact of metadata in the era of e-library.
Pardon, madam, once again.
So the question is, like, what is the impact of metadata in the era of e-library?
See, as far as automation and electronic libraries are concerned, metadata is nothing but bibliographic details what we use for books. Metadata helps. Earlier, we used to depend much on cataloging and bibliographic details as far as the classifications and catalogings are concerned. But nowadays, with the help of different formats, that is MARC format and CCF formats, the same information is used with the help of tags. Once we do that, once we upload or once we record the bibliographic details with the help of metadata standards, so it becomes very easy for switching over from one automation system to another automation system. definitely there is an impact of metadata as far as electronic libraries are concerned. And as far as the digital things are concerned, it becomes very helpful for the present electronic libraries. But metadata, as far as electronic libraries are concerned, we are not using much metadata standards for electronic libraries. We are using metadata standards for the automation of the libraries. We use these metadata for, especially for retrospective conversion from traditional method to automation libraries.
Thank you, sir. One more question, sir. The participant wants to know, can you provide more information on how to provide references?
Pardon?
How to provide references, sir?
Reference service.
Yes, sir.
Through electronic library.
Yes, sir. Through electronic library.
See, you can provide reference services with the help of electronic library. I think in university, what we do normally is we take one subject and compile the free as well as commercial resources available in that particular subject. For example, now this year I have given project works to my students on genetics. Suppose genetics, now what we do is we compile the list of resources. For example, open thesis and dissertations available in genetics. Free dictionaries available in free as well as commercial dictionaries available in genetics. The encyclopedia available free as well as commercial resources. So we compile a list of all these reference sources and provide a link to that. So compilation is more important here, and it is the librarians and professionals who do that job. So it is very easy for to provide reference sources. Just now everything is available. Now Manorama yearbook is available online. Every yearbooks are available online. Biographical sources are available online. So it is only thing is you need to compile all those e-resources. You need to compile all those resources and make it available and provide links to that. That's what you can provide reference services for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that answering that question. One more question, sir, from Professor Nasir Ahmed. Sir wants to know what is the standard to be maintained for private teachers training college.
Just once again.
Yes, sir. The question is, what is the standard to be maintained for private teachers training colleges, sir?
Standards in what sense?
I feel it is related to library only, sir. Like how to maintain the library and all.
Directly, madam, just do one thing. Just unmute that person who has asked that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Nasir Ahmed, you can unmute yourself and raise the question, sir. It is not clear.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
बस अब मैं यही जानना चाह रहा था कि जैसे हम किसी प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूट में पढ़ा रहे हैं टीचर ट्रेनिंग कॉलेज में, तो लाइब्रेरी तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, लेकिन हम जो अपने तरफ से देखते हैं बहुत सारी चीजें कमी देखते हैं। तो एक मिनिमम जो स्टैंडर्ड होना चाहिए, जैसे डी-रेट का मेरा कॉलेज है, तो उसी थोड़ा सा मार्गदर्शन आपका चाह रहे थे।
See, standards are set by the officials or authorities. So, for example, Knowledge Commission has set a standards for the libraries, set a standard for academic libraries, institutions of private nature. Then the industries, they have set up, public library they have set up. It is not only experts who make standards, but it is the associations or authorities or any committees or commissions which makes standard. For example, IFLA has made us given some standards, so
Yes.
metadata standards. So it urges the libraries that you have to use the CCF format and MARC formats,
Yes.
uni formats. So, but
Yes,
how
sir.
many libraries they make use of such standards?
Yes.
That is also questionable.
Yes.
So
Yes.
standards are being given by the national level or international associations or committees. It is not by only experts. Only thing is there are just to go through any of the search engines, standards in MARC or standards in metadata or
Yes.
standards in classification. You just search for that, and either of the options you will get to know that what standards have to be used for digital libraries, what standard has to be used for cataloging purpose, and many others.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. Got it.
Any other, sir?
Hello, I request all the participants to ask or raise the questions if they have any. Any questions can be raised. Kindly unmute yourself and you can raise the question. Sir will answer you. Yes, sir, I think there are no more questions, sir. Thank you, sir, for answering all the queries raised by the participants. Now I hand over the session to Professor Smita.
Hello, sir. Thank you, ma'am. So, like, I hope you have covered like both the topics, sir, like e-library in 21st century and also use of e-library in research. So now I request Professor Vinayak Uprate to give closing.
Hello. So very good morning to all the participants. Today, the speaker, Dr. Gururaj Advili sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, KUD Dharwad. Sir has started his discussion with e-library in 21st century. So sir has given exposure on what is the role of library in present education system. Sir has started with some technical concepts like web media, electronic library also. The major part sir has covered that traditional library, virtual library, and the journey from traditional library to hybrid library. So what are the challenges also library facing? Those are cleared by Gururaj sir. A tech-savvy kind of touch has given by sir in terms of the buzzword in today's future is data mining, that is cloud computing concept. So almost all technical points covered by sir in terms of e-library in 20th century. So we are very thankful to sir for his valuable inputs towards the topic e-library in 21st century. Thank you very much. Over to speaker.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Mr. Fakiresh Kamli, librarian, IMS B School, Hubli, to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Professor Smita Madam. Good afternoon to all the delegates present over here. The essence of all beautiful art is gratitude. I, Fakiresh Kamli, librarian at IMS B School, stand before you to propose vote of thanks on this occasion of one-day webinar on e-library, new way of learning by our teachers. At the outset, I thank our chief guest and resource person and my teacher, Dr. Gururaj S. Advili, Assistant Professor of Department of Library and Information Science, Karnataka University, Dharwad. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence. I thank you, sir, your address on this occasion. We are thankful to our Honorable Chairman Sir, KSIMS CA Dr. N.A. Charantimat sir for their continuous support and motivation. I thank you, sir, for your encouragement and keep inspiring us. I would like to thank our director, sir, for today's function for his continuous support and uncompromised dedication to work as show the results. Thank you, sir. And specially thank and our continuous supporters, Dr. Alok Gaddi sir, Professor Virupaksha Remat sir, Suvarna madam, Smita madam, Vinayak sir, and all our IMS staff for their unflinching support and coordination. Our heartfelt thanks to our delegates from different states of India, along with our students for active participation. With these warm words and a kind message, I would like wind up the session. Stay home, stay safe, and learn more. I, Fakiresh Kamli, signing off for the day. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. So before winding up the session, again, I want to repeat the instructions. Like feedback link will be sent to the group once the session is it is closed. The e-certificates will be given to all the participants. You must fill the feedback link because certificates will be generated on the basis of data submitted on the feedback link. Thank you, one and all.
Hello? Hello, ma'am, I'm not in the group.
Hello. Yeah, we will be sharing now. So in the chat box, we'll be sharing the feedback link and please fill the feedback form. Yeah, feedback link has sent in the chat box. Please click on that. Thank you, one and all.
Hello? No, feedback link is not coming. Hello.
Hello, tell me.
Yeah, we'll be sending you the correct link. Yeah, we have sent the link in WhatsApp group also.
Yes, madam, I received.
Yeah. Yeah, the
ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ
link
ಇಲ್ಲ
has been sent in the chat box.
ರೂಟೀನ್ ಇದೆ. ನಿಮ್ದು
Yeah, please click on that.
ಹೌದಾ? ನೈಟ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆರಾಮ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ. ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಏರ್ಟೆಲ್.
Yeah, dear participants, the link has been sent in the chat box. Please click on that. The feedback link has been sent.